Okay, good morning, everybody. Gonna get started on the market update a little bit early. We have the CPI data coming out today. The reason getting a little bit started, sometimes we are running late at the end, so I like to get started on this market update a little bit early since 8:15. I know a lot of people probably not know that we are starting a little bit early, but again, I'll put this. I'm recording this one, and we will put this on the YouTube right after. And all the recordings from every morning are on YouTube. And if somebody wants a link, we'll post a link in here right after. So let's talk about we got earnings coming out of the banks this morning. We have ES futures that are hitting the all-time highs. We have the market, it just keeps going to the upside, and we have CPI data at 8:30, which is important. But the reason also is because I want to start early, is because sometimes there is not enough time to talk about enough stocks at the end, what we're gonna be looking at, and what's going to be going during that day here. If we want to day trade something or we want to swing trade something, we need just need more time than normal time there at the end. So let's talk about market this morning. Let's talk about ES futures first. So let me make sure I'm sharing the right chart. Yeah, I definitely have the right chart in place. So we're going to talk about the ES futures. Where is ES futures going this morning? So far, it's hitting the all-time high. Why? Because the bank earnings have been coming out nicely, especially the largest bank in the U.S., J.P. Morgan, came out with great numbers on the earnings. Let me just bring up their numbers right here. I put them in the chat as well. So let's show them on the uh, what the numbers look like here on the trading economics here. Where is earnings? Right there, JP Morgan, $5.24. It just blew the earnings per share out of the water. $4.45 was expected. Same thing with the revenue. Revenue, they blew it out of the water again. Very strong earnings on JP Morgan. So the bank has been a little bit down this morning. Why is the bank down when the earnings are good? Because this bank is hitting 52-week highs. So let me put this. Let's bring the chart. We'll talk about these in a minute. That's why the ES is being pushed up. So we'll talk about individual stocks in a minute. So let's take a look at what's happening overall market first. So where is the Nasdaq going with it? Nasdaq is also hitting the highs, all-time highs to the upside with these earnings that are coming out and the numbers that are coming out of the banks. So very strong. NQ is up 129 points right now. And where are we going today so far? So far, it's a risk on day depending on what kind of CPI data we get at 8:30. So far, the market just wants to rally to the upside and hit new highs. But this stock here has been hitting 52-week highs. That's why it's a little bit down. But I do expect this stock to continue to the upside a little bit later on. Right now, everybody knows they came out with good earnings, so they're trying to push the stock higher. But money managers usually take an opportunity at this
एनक्यूचा
time to
चार्ट है
sell
ये
the stock. Sorry, somebody said.
एनक्यूचा चार्ट है ये
Uh, okay, I got no. Yeah, oh, the NQ. Okay. Oh, JP Morgan. Okay, sorry. That's the chart. But hang on. I will talk about those stocks in a minute, actually. Let me finish with the market update. So I will talk about JP Morgan in a minute as well. I just was mentioning it. What's it's doing to actually the Nasdaq and the rest of the market right now. It is. Sorry, you're right. But I was talking about JP Morgan, but I have the NQ chart up on my screen right now. But the effect on the market right now, because JP Morgan has been hitting to a 52-week size, it's pushing the market a little bit to the downside because JP Morgan is also a little bit to the downside, which I will show you in a minute. And what's happening with the rest of the market before we get there? Oil has come down from the $70 range. So far, it's a lot to have to do with the CPI. Let's see what the CPI number is coming out this morning, and then if the CPI number is lower, and that is also going to keep this oil prices to the sideways. I don't think they're going to go anywhere, basically to the sideways. And what effect will the CPI data have? Remember, this CPI data is for June. So if you look at the tariffs and you look at the oil price that happened in June, back here, this is July, started July right here. Look, the price of oil actually was going up in June. So what are we expecting out of the inflation rate? So I think the inflation rate, if you include the oil, there's going to be two numbers. One is going to include the energy and food. The other one is not. So the one that will have food and energy in it, I think that will be up. And that's the one we really want to take a look. So if that number comes up, that's not going to make Donald Trump happy, because then you're not going to get interest rate cuts. So we're going to talk about that right like 5 minutes before. We want to talk about those what's going to happen, what this market is going to do, right? So 5 minutes before, we're going to break it down for you what direction actually the CPI will take the the market overall. So looking at oil sitting at 66.95, yesterday was around 69 bucks. It's come down a little bit, and sorry, it was hitting at almost 69 there, and it's coming down here below here. I still continue to see this oil going to the sideways. What about gold? Gold is a hedge inflation. If inflation picks up, I also see gold going to the upside as well. Initially, gold will go to the sideways or a little bit down if the inflation is up, but eventually gold price will go to the upside. So if you're holding gold still, it's a strong inflation hedge. So today, that CPI data is going to determine a lot of things. Not only the direction of the market, it's going to show us a direction of the overall interest rates. Whether Donald Trump is going to be happy or Jerome Powell is going to be happy, we'll see. That is gold. Gold is right now $2.30 up. What about the yield? Right now, the yield is holding steady because it's waiting for the data to come out. So if the CPI comes to the upside, this inflation, this yield, the inflation-looking number will also go to the upside. Okay, but if the CPI data is down, why? If the CPI data is down, this thing is going to go down, because then we can see interest rate cuts. And if interest rate cut, normally the yield goes down. Okay, so the 10-year yield is sitting at 4.43, and we will have more clarity in about 22 minutes. Okay, 4.43. What about the dollar index? The dollar index is holding steady right now at these levels at 98.113. And I think the dollar index will again it was all the way down here 96. Well, I predicted it would hit 95, but it did go to 96. But I do think this is going to weaken. Okay, I do think this eventually will start to weaken to the downside. But if we get a strong inflation, this may not, and then the dollar index could go up, and so will the yield. Okay, if the yield goes up, so will the dollar. It's all in relations. If you understand that, you will know exactly what I'm talking about. So then we go down to our put call ratios. What are the SPY, the triple Qs, and IWM? What are they doing? What did they do yesterday? So if you look at the SPY put call ratio, it actually went down to a little bit to the call side. So it's expecting the market to go upside. But the put call ratio on the NASDAQ went to the put side, which is showing a little bit of weakness, so that it's expecting the market to go to the downside a little bit. But these numbers are, remember, still strong towards the call side. I start looking at these numbers as a negative, especially the SPY and the put call on the triple Qs. If they get above like 1.4, 1.5, that's when I'm starting to see that they're really pushing more to the put side. Okay, and the IWM really pushed towards the call side. It's very strong. It's almost like 42%. People were buying calls yesterday on the Russell 2000. So where is the Russell 2000? Let's take a look. What is it showing? Look how it recovered yesterday. This is a 1 hour chart, so you can understand.
Order filled.
Sorry? Somebody said something? Okay. So we are looking at the Russell 2000 here, which is heading towards more to the upside, which is the call side. Okay. So that is the, if you look at the UVXY, it's pretty much dead, going sideways. The VIX, if you look at overall, it's a little bit, and it's not elevated much. Normally it sits around 12, 13, 14, somewhere there. Right now it's sitting at 16.86. So I showed you the inflation. We looked at the dollar we looked at the pile. Let's take a look at what is Bitcoin doing. Bitcoin is also waiting for this number, the CPI number this morning. Again, if the CPI number is strong, I can see further downside on Bitcoin to coming down. But if the number is low, then obviously this thing will pick up to the upside as well. Why? Because we're gonna borrowing rates gonna go to the downside, and if they go to the downside, and obviously more liquidity in the market. If there's more liquidity, that means more cash flow in the market. That means more people can buy stocks. Okay, that's what it looks like so far this morning, market to the upside. So we're looking at overall data that is really going to affect the market, which comes out in 20 minutes. Okay, so Bitcoin is there basically. Now I want to talk about more about stocks because that's our main job really. We can get the aim of the direction of the market for very quickly by looking at all this data, but the real data actually really the market's going to be directed by the CPI data today, okay, which is coming out at 8:30. Then don't forget we have the PPI data tomorrow, and then we also have the retail sector numbers that are coming out tomorrow on Thursday. So all these three data are inflationary data numbers. Why are they inflationary? Because we know what CPI means, right? We also know what PCE means. PCE, what is that car going to look like? Is it going to be more expensive or cheaper once it comes out of the factory? That's what the PCE number is going to tell us. Then we have the retail numbers on Thursday. Are the prices, are the shoppers shopping? Are they spending the money? All right. And if they're not spending the money, that means people are saving money because the economy is not doing well. But when the economy is doing well, people are spending money. That's usually inflationary. And if it's inflationary, what happens? Markets, the interest rates don't come down. Okay. So all three numbers by Thursday morning, we should have a very clear picture what direction the market's going to go and what is Jerome Powell going to do. We're going to be able to predict it right here on Thursday whether Jerome Powell will lower interest rates or not. Okay, we've been pretty good in the past predicting what they've been what Jerome Powell has been saying. So I'm think we're going to have a pretty good prediction. So one of the reasons you want to make that kind of prediction is because you want to make your investments towards that. People are too late. When on let's say on next week or at the end of the week when Jerome Powell is going to cut interest rates, we want to be able to predict that beforehand that he's going to cut interest rates, so we can get into the stocks that are going to move when he does cut interest rates. When the news comes out, that's old. You want to get in the head of the news to invest your money in. That's where you make the easy money. You don't want to invest when they tell you, oh, yeah, okay, now we're going to cut interest rates. That's too late. Then everybody's buying and selling. It's just like CPI. If you are really good, if you can predict the CPI, I mean, what direction is it gonna? If you're right, you get into the market ahead of time, you're gonna make money. It's the same thing with other things, but we can predict sort of direction that Jerome Powell will take. That's why I'm saying I'm pretty high on the home stocks. I'm still very high on DHI, PHM, and any real estate right now. Why? Because I know they're going to cut interest rate. Whether it happens in July or in September, it's going to happen. And if it happens, what are these DHI and PHM stocks going to do? They're going to go to the upside. And we already said that 2 months ago. We've been talking about that. And so what are those stocks have been doing so far? So if you look at, let's take a look at DHI this morning. What is it doing? What sort of hint is giving us what the CPI going to look like? Okay, it's sitting at 136, right? Let's go to the day chart, which will get a better picture on this.
Order submitted.
So we're looking at the day picture here, 136. This is where 2 months ago we've been predicting down here. I'm personally owning this stock like 120 bucks. and I own the other one as well. This is sitting at $136.10. So I'm quite a bit already up. I'm going to be up more by the time interest rates roll back around. I still think there's going to be a more upside here. This stock was around $200 last September. And I think this, can it reach back that $200 level? Yes, I can. Why? Because if you look at not only the chart turning around back to the upside, the fundamentally this stock is very strong still. You look at the overall, look at these statistics, these numbers, 10.3. That's a price to earnings ratio. This is like undervalued, even though historically their numbers are pretty much the same, but it's very, very much undervalued right now, this stock here. So not only that, it also pays a good dividend at 1.10%. That's fine, but overall, looking at these numbers are very cheap, and looking at the stock price is very cheap. Okay, so let's take a look at the sister stock. The other one that I've mentioned is PHM. PHM is Pulte Group. There was another one Buddy Jazz actually brought in, GRBK, I think it was. We'll take a look at that in a minute. Let's take a look at PH 112.84. This one sitting here. So we've been buying this stock way back here under $100. So it's sitting at $112, and this one has more room to run to the upside. So remember, this stock has been up here, this price around $150 almost. And even if we can catch another like $125, $130, that's a quite like that's a 30-40% gain in less than 2 months on a stock. Okay, 30-40% gain. What does everybody want on an average return in a year, right? They're happy with 10%. They're happy with 15%. But we can earn on stocks if we get ahead of the picture, ahead of the the game. We can make 40, 50, 60% return in a year. Okay, so we can see those kind of numbers on the return, but we have to get ahead of the game. We got to be able to predict what's happening in the future, like with these interest rates, with the economy, and a lot has to do when I'm teaching you guys about the microeconomic numbers. That's with the direction of the market. It's not anything else. The microeconomics numbers tell us what's happening in the economy. Is the economy going to the upside or the economy going to the downside? So this is another stock that also has fantastic numbers. So if you look at the static, look at this, even better than the other stock here. 8 price to earning ratio is even lower. So these numbers are fantastic again, and both stocks stand out far as I'm concerned. I don't think if anybody asks, should you buy it now? I think you can. I think not. I think you can. I think you should. Still, I think you can. These stocks go higher, but I'm not worried about it if this stock comes down on the short term. But longer term, this stock should continue to the upside. So I'm very happy with these stocks. GRBK, I think this is the one. GRBK. Yeah, Green Brick layer. This is one Jazz buddy brought up. Stock. This is another good one. This is doing very similar to what the other two stocks are doing. They're all starting to move to the upside. They've all been high up here, and they all been moving towards the upside. So this is another good stock. And if you look at its numbers as well, let's look at the earnings, dividends. Let's take a look. There's the numbers right there. They're all just like all the other two stocks that we showed you. Very, very undervalued, all three of them. So even this one here, you can accumulate and buy, put it in your portfolio. So I do encourage anybody that's looking at stocks right now, start looking towards more at real estate stocks. Bring me some good stocks of real estate. If you we talked about how scanning works, right? So if you have the scanning of any real estate you want to bring up, let's bring it up. Let's talk about those stocks. And I think right now the next big sector to go to the upside, I think it is going to be real estate. And why? Because I showed you how bad the real estate sector has done in the last little while. So let me show you here again yesterday. Data analysis here. Look at the sector here. This is UX equity sectors, and real estate is right at the bottom here. And I think this is the next sector that's going to pick up to the upside. So I think with the lower interest rates, this will go higher. So if we can find more good stocks in this sector here, especially like I like to buy a good ETF in real estate. If anybody can do a search on it and find one, I will do a little bit of research on it as well. I think this is the opportunity right now to get into the this type of stock. And the other one is I think healthcare is very cheap as well. It has not done well in the last a little while. This is the next sector that I really want to take a look at. So healthcare sector is the one that you want to take a look at. Okay, so the other one, utilities, is pretty good too. If you want to be in safe stock, you want to be like in a dividend, don't want too much up and down, and you want a good portfolio, look for utilities. We'll be taking a look at these individual sectors and stocks more in the coming days. I really want to concentrate specifically on sector stocks, how the market cycles that the economy, economy moves up and down. So we'll consider that as well. Okay. So Paji asked BLD. Let's take a look at. I know somebody, I forgot the name, who talked to me about BLDR. Somebody talked to me because they own the stock. They recovered their stuff. So it's nice that they actually made their money back. But still, this BLDR, they're into hydrogen. Okay. Sorry, this is a builder store. Now, I was thinking Ballard Power Party. So BLDR is another one. This is for a good stock looking at builders source. So let's take a look at these numbers on this one here, especially the valuation. What do they do? Let's take a look at they do together with subsidy manufacturers, supplies, building materials. Okay, they're into construction, professional home builders. Okay. What do the numbers look like on this one? Let's look at the valuation. Wow, valuation is very nice. Forward-looking price to earnings ratio is a little bit higher than the current price to earnings ratio, but price to cash flow is good. Overall cash flow is looking good. PE number looks good. Yeah, no, it's not a bad stock if you look at it, but again, I don't know much about this builder first source, so I have to do a little more research on it. Okay, so let's go to BLDR here. Let's take a look at their numbers here. So the chart is very similar to the other ones, right? Home builders, and the numbers don't look too bad at all. These numbers are pretty good, but I still like the other three companies that I just saw that are much better. I think doesn't look too bad either. The revenue is a little bit to the sideways. That's fine. $18 billion. The market cap on this one is around 14 billion. Very similar to the other companies, but I'm more comfortable with the other ones because I have done the research on it. This one here, I have done no research on it. So we'll take a look at a little more research on this one to find out exactly what this is going to do. Okay, so let's take a look at Trade Desk. That's TD. That's what Trade Desk is. Quickly, chart looks good. It's breaking out already. It's going into must have some sort of news on it. $85.47. It's jumped up $10 already to the upside. It's trying to fill this gap to the upside. Looks like it's going to try to do that now. So they must have some sort of news out. So let's take a look at what TTD had. Remember, we have 6 minutes left to the CPI data. Another minute, I just want to concentrate on the CPI. Numbers don't look fantastic, look too good on it, but why is it the stock going up this morning? What's the news? This is going in the S&P. Only the reason this is jumped up this morning, this stock is going into S&P. They announced it yesterday at 5:44. That's the time the news came out. So this morning the stock is jumping. So why does the stock go up when it's included in the S&P 500? Now, because everybody that mirror the 500 index gotta buy this stock. That's why the stock goes up. So anybody that's mirroring the 500 index now gotta buy this stock. And if they want to maintain that 500 index credentials. So they have to go buy this stock, and that's why the price usually goes up. Okay, that's the only reason. There's no other reason here. So trade desk, the stock has already gone up, and remember, look what happened to. Remember what happened to when the coin exchange was included in the 500. Coin. Remember coin? Sorry guys, here, not that coin. Coin Global. This is the one. Okay, look, this stock was included in the S&P 500 right here. This is when it jumped up. So can Trade Desk do the same thing? I don't know. Could it keep going? Sure, it can. Right. So it's already up a little bit. This is what this stock has almost close to doubled.
Order canceled.
But remember, this stock doubled because the coin, the actual Bitcoin, has been going up. That's why this stock has doubled. So what is TTD gonna do to double that stock, or is to go or to continue to the upside? Okay. So can it go up way up here? Sure, it can. Can it go back to 142? Can it double from 75 bucks or 85 bucks from here? You know, it's anybody's guess. But it is, people are buying it to make include it in the 500 index. Okay. So now let's concentrate a little bit on the S&P, on the Forex Factory, which is let's take a look at that. The data that's coming out. Let's take a look at the most important thing that's going to come out this morning, and that is the CPI number, which is 2.57 minutes away. So this is a core CPI. This is a number that doesn't include food and energy. Okay, and this one here does. The second number does include the food and energy. Then the final number, which is year-over-year number, this currently we're sitting at 2.6. The forecast. The last number that came out was 2.4. So it's really therefore actually they're forecasting the CPI number to the upside already. So if this number comes even higher than this, it could be really bad news for the interest rates to come down. So 2.6%, if it comes higher or even close to 2.6, it's a bad news for the market. And same thing with this 0.3 number. It came at 0.1 last time. So if they're also forecasting this number higher. So both of these numbers are forecasted to be higher. And if all three of them actually forecasted numbers to be higher. The core, the CPI, again, if you don't know what these numbers mean, you can always, on this here, this one here, is released monthly, and if you look at this one, second one, this one does not include energy and food prices. Okay, so we'll see in a few minutes here what the numbers look like here. Okay, so let's go back, and we have less than a minute to go. I'm going to move this out of the way. I'm going to bring the ES. I will let you know what the numbers are, then let's see what the ES is going to do. So ES is probably already, let's go down to the minute. We will see the movement better. We're currently sitting at 63.27. Again, if the CPI comes in strong, we are going to the downside. And if CPI comes to the downside, then we could see interest rate cuts, and this could jump on to the upside. So this is really important, not only for Donald Trump. This is also important. What is Mr. Powell is going to do? So let's see. We have a few minutes to let go. Let's see what we do. 30 seconds to go, guys. 30 seconds. I'm going to put on a voice here so you guys can hear as well.
Ten seconds.
10 seconds to go.
Order filled.
2.7%, 2.7% higher than the forecast
Whoa.
of 2.6%. US core CPI month to month 0.2%, 0.2%, lower than the forecast of 0.3%. US core CPI year on year 2.9%, 2.9% as expected. CPI month to month 0.3%, 0.3% as expected. Canadian CPI year on year 1.9%, 1.9% as expected. Canadian CPI month to month 0.1%, 0.1% as expected. New York Fed manufacturing 5.5, 5.5, higher than the forecast of minus 9.2. Seeing the dollar seeing movement towards the downside, the S&P 500 movement towards the upside, off of the back of the data for the US CPI, mostly coming in as expected, other than the CPI year on year, which takes up.
Okay, so we got the data out, which is the market is going up. Why the market's going up? Because the core CPI is actually down 0.2, lower than the forecast of 0.3, and the CPI month to month came at a 0.3, which was the same as what the forecast was. The CPI year over year actually went to the upside from 2.4 to 2.7. So this is telling us inflation has picked up, but the core CPI is telling that the CPI actually went to the downside. So this is a mixed bag of numbers. But the way I read it, the way I can call this here, this is telling us inflation is up. That means the chances of getting a rate cut so far in end of July, I think is maybe 20%. They have gone to the downside, not to the upside, to the downside. So I think the interest rates, according to these numbers, will not happen. Okay, why is the market up? Market is because the numbers are pretty much even. That's why the market has really, I don't think at the end of the day market is going to go anywhere. I think it's going to flatten out. Why? Because the numbers are pretty much flat. But overall the CPI year over year has been to the upside, 2.7%. So what can we see the market? Which direction can we see the market today? Market can be either sideways or a little bit to the upside. I don't see the market really hammering out a lot of big gains or big losses today, according to these numbers, because the core CPI again was 0.2, the forecast was 0.3, the last time it came at 0.1. These numbers were expected to come higher. Why? Because of the tariffs. Okay, these numbers were expected to come in higher, and they have come higher a little bit. Just because the forecasted number was 0.3, it came at 0.3. The number was higher than, like, last number it came out was 0.1, it came at 0.2, and the other number that was forecasted was 0.1, it came at forecasted was 0.3, it actually came at 2, and the last time it came at 0.1. So at the end of the day, we gotta make a sense out of this, and sense that I can make is this market is not gonna go anywhere with these numbers. It's gonna go sideways or a little bit to the up. Tomorrow we're gonna see the PPI numbers at the same time at 8:30, and on Thursday we're gonna see the retail numbers. So unless these numbers are gonna be flat, so what kind of decision can Jerome Powell make here? He could go either way, really. He can either cut it or he can hold on. And my thing is, I think he will hold on. And it's not basically to piss off Donald Trump, but I think he just won't make the decision because inflation has picked up. So if inflation is picked up, what is it going to do next month with these numbers? So his thinking would be August could be again inflation to the upside. So if inflation continues to the upside, it's not going to make sense for them to cut interest rates. So and they're just going to end up if the next 3 months inflation goes to the upside, they're going to have to raise interest rates if this continues to the upside. So at the end of the day, we finally saw numbers that we should have seen in even the last months. These numbers are a little bit higher. I don't care about the forecasted numbers, but actually these numbers are higher from the last numbers. So think about it. The core CPI month to month came at 0.2. Last time it was 0.1. And the CPI month to month, the other number was 0.3. That came at 0.3. The forecast was 0.3, and last time it came at 0.1. So again,
Order filled.
inflation is headed to the upside, 2.7%. Okay. So
ਬਟ
this
ਭਾਜੀ
is,
ਲੌਂਗ ਟਰਮ ਦੇ ਵਿੱਚ ਤਾਂ ਫਿਰ ਇਹ ਗੁੱਡ ਨੰਬਰ ਨਹੀਂ ਨਾ ਹੈਗੇ, ਫੋਰਕਾਸਟ ਨੂੰ ਘੱਟ ਨੇ ਬਟ ਪ੍ਰੀਵੀਅਸ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਜ਼ਿਆਦਾ ਹੀ ਆਇਆ ਭਾਜੀ। ਵਟ ਯੂ
yes,
ਥਿੰਕ?
yes, exactly. That's what I'm saying, Paji. That's what I'm saying. That's why he's not gonna cut interest rates. Okay, that's why. But exactly. Okay. So anybody have any other questions on data we're talking about here, or anybody have their own analysis? I love to hear smart people out there who have maybe their own opinion. Anybody's mic that you can't talk, please let me know in the chat, in the members chat. I will open it up if you can't talk, so let me know. But anyway, anybody have an opinion on this? Everybody's so quiet. But there you go, market is so far basically.
ਭਾਜੀ ਜਿਹਦਾ ਡੋਨਲਡ ਟਰੰਪ ਫੋਰਸ ਕਰ ਰਿਹਾ ਇੰਟਰਸਟ ਰੇਟ ਕੱਟ ਨੂੰ ਤਾਂ ਮਿਕਸ ਹੋ ਜਾਣਾ ਕੰਮ।
Oh, he's gonna be
Number-
he's gonna be pissed off this morning. He's gonna be mad. He's gonna be mad, and especially if Jerome Powell comes out and says, "Oh, sorry, we
ਜੋਰਮ
don't-"
ਪੋਲ ਤਾਂ ਨੰਬਰ ਦੇਖ ਕੇ ਕਰਦਾ ਸਾਰਾ ਕੁਝ। ਆਈ ਡੋਨਟ ਥਿੰਕ ਹੀ ਵਿਲ ਡੂ ਐਨੀਥਿੰਗ ਵਿਦਆਊਟ ਦੀ ਨੰਬਰ।
I agree with you, Paji. I agree with you. I don't think he's gonna do anything, but we still have PPI numbers coming out tomorrow, and we also have retail numbers coming out on Thursday. So if all those numbers agree with what CPI numbers are, then it's going to be very, very tough even to cut interest rates in September if these numbers continue to come like this. Right? So we'll see. So what's happening with the, let's take a look at the yield. What's happening with the 10-year yield? 10-year yield has picked up. Remember I told you if these things were high, this yield is going to go up. Look at that. The yield's going to the upside. What about the dollar index? Dollar index is sort of holding steady at the same spot. It's already up to the upside. It was going down. The yield is going to go up. So the mortgage rates are not going to get cheaper right now. So if you still, the housing the stocks we talked about, if you already have them, hold on to them. But if you are going to buy them, maybe this yield going up a little bit is going to drop these stocks a little bit to the downside. So that's an opportunity for you to buy them again on the dip. Okay, so you know why if you look at DHI and PHM. Let's take a look at what they're doing. Let me punch it up here. So they should be a little bit down already. Let's see what's happening. Yeah, so far, let me go on the day chart. It's easier to tell on the day chart, but yeah, look at that. It is a little bit to the downside. Actually, look what this candle did already. It went to the downside. It's kind of come back up to the here. But I do think with this, you know, the rates that it's going to go pump up a little bit to the upside. But the stocks on the DHI, PHM will give you an opportunity to buy a little more. But I would not recommend you sell it yet. I'm not going to sell my stock. I'm hanging on to it. Okay. So let's take a look at quickly other stocks. SBET. Okay, let's see. Are we holding on to SBET still? So this is a stock I bought up last week. If you bought it, great. We were talking about it way back here. So it's a beautiful move to the upside. Again, 23.8. If you have a good profit, I would take it. I would, you know, take some anyway. But if you have a good profit in this one, because I bought this stock up last week, and it's continues to the upside. It's up like since today is what, Tuesday. I bought, I think it was Wednesday or Thursday when this stock was trading about $17 somewhere there, 15, 17 bucks. So if you have it, Raj, take some profit. I would not, you know, again, the stock is a little bit up again this morning, 24.51. It could continue to the upside. This is one of those betting stocks, and DKNG is the other one I like. If you want another betting stock, DKNG is another one, DraftKings, and this is a good stock as well. And it's the kind of I think for the long term, this stock is pretty good. If you wanted to buy something like betting for the long term, okay. So PLNT. Let's take a look at Palantir. Oh, sorry, Planet Fitness. Looks like it's breaking out 111.33. I would, if you have it, I would definitely hold on. But this could also be a day trade since it's breaking out. One thing usually happens when a stock breaks out into a black space, we usually don't know how far it's going to go up. So it could keep continue to the upside, but let's take a look at fundamentally. Is fundamentally this strong stock? It's a 52 price to earnings ratio. Price to sales ratio is 7. The numbers are a little bit high on this one, but let's take a look at revenue. So it's more like a little bit of a growth story. Very strong growth in revenue to the upside. What is the market cap on this one? 9.3. So it's pretty reasonable. Very good, strong like growth on the revenue. So that's what this stock is going up on. As long I would keep a very tight stop, even the bottom of the last candle. So you can buy this as long as it continues to the upside. So it is got earnings coming out, which are in August the 12th. Okay. So let's take a look at Dow. One of the other things when I'm doing stocks is take a look at the news as well. So does the company have any news out? Do they have any good news out? And that's another thing that pushes a stock to the upside. So when you look at a stock overall, make sure to look at the news. Is there any news coming out? Or are they doing anything differently? Okay. So those are kind of things you usually want to take a look at. The Dow. This stock is going to the downside. Chart does not look good the way it's going. This is a Dow. I think it's a chemical company. Let me take a look. I used to have one of these ones before. Material science. No, this is different. There was a chemical company. I forgot the name of it. But anyway, this is Packaging and Specialty Group. Hydrocarbons. Maryland. Okay. Very strong dividend. $19 billion company, 9.48. Price to earnings ratio. Oh, it is a chemical company. Okay. I thought it, yeah, I used to own, I don't know if they changed the symbol or something has happened on this company. But anyway, they've been around for a very long time. Very strong revenue. A little bit downside, a little bit on the chemical side, but that's fine. Overall, let's take a look at the statistics. Numbers, they used to have really good numbers on this company. Continues. Look how they were good in the past. I remember looking at this company a long time ago, but this number has gone up. 73 is price to earnings ratio, but these numbers are usually not bad for this revenue, company like that. What the earnings look like? Earnings are not so great. Okay. On this company, forward-looking earnings are not very good right now. So, that's why maybe this thing keeps going to the downside. So look for the earnings to come around. Or revenue to go to the upside, then I would be interested in, because right now the chart does not tell me to buy and the numbers that are not telling me to buy. So fundamentally I would stay away from this company right now, but watch for turnaround. I know this company is good for long term, but you have to do just wait patiently on this. Okay. KHC, take a look at KHC. Kraft Heinz. This is a good company. It's looked like a food company has been going down. It has picked up lately onto the upside. Quickly take a look, see if there's any news out on KHC. Kraft Heinz. Okay, I remember I talked about, I think it was a month and a half ago, I talked about this company splitting to unlock value. Finally, there's more news is coming out. Actually, Wall Street Journal came out on July 11th again. We talked about it. We talked about this company about a month and a half ago splitting. So finally, there's more news out in Wall Street Journal there. And that's why this stock is to the upside. So should you buy it? It's a great company. I think if they split in two, I think this could go a lot higher. If they split, definitely this company again. They combine. I think it was 10, 15 years ago when they combined. Heinz was the company by itself, and Kraft was the other company. When they combined with each other, This is a food company, and we know about Heinz, right? Heinz tomato sauce that everybody likes it with their fries. So that's what Heinz does. So Kraft is like cheese. Okay. So these two companies, when they combine, created a good value, but now they want to split. And I think that could unlock a good value to the upside on this company. I would definitely be a buyer. It also pays a good dividend, 5.76%. So I don't think it can go any lower. But again, I like the company. Definitely go for CAI. This is something new. It's up. It looks like it's $28.25. New IPO, Keros Life Sciences. So let's take a look at it quickly. What the company does. Provide diagnostic atomic pathology services. It develops on bias. Okay, it's more into healthcare. That's what I would say. Okay, they are into healthcare. Headquartered in Texas. Okay, but again, this is something new. New company doesn't have many numbers. No, I don't know how would. It's very hard to value a company that has no numbers. But the market cap on this one is 7.86 billion. What I would take a look at is really, to be honest with it, what the sort of healthcare are they offering? Like what kind of things? Let me quickly take a look and see if there's anything in Seeking Alpha on this one here. But the company looks good. I like healthcare companies. Okay, Care. It's a more into also cancer diagnostics. They did their IPO at $21 per share. Okay, they're currently sitting at $27.72. So they raised over $424 million. So there are no numbers here. What I like about this company is they don't have a lot of short interest in it. So people don't think this is overvalued yet. So this could go more to the upside, right? But as it goes upside, people will short it. Okay. But anyways, this looks for short term. It's a traded stock. And can it go higher? Yes, I think it definitely can go higher because there's not much short interest. Right now it's sitting at $28.25. It closed at $27.72. Okay. So quickly take a look at JP Morgan. We haven't looked even those stocks quickly. What are the banks doing so far this morning? JP Morgan is the largest American bank. It is lower so far this morning. Why? Because of the market. It's been running 52-week high. And when it runs high, this is why it's taken a break. The news has come out and the stock is a little bit down. But the guidance is very strong on it and it continues to go to the upside. And that I think it will. But short term, I'm gonna start taking profit out of the bank because this bank was fine. The other thing that didn't come out is if you look at the Wells Fargo, right? You look at Wells Fargo and you look at those other companies. Those companies, Wells Fargo really didn't impress with the numbers. Yeah, if you look at WFC here. Right. Wells Fargo is the other company here. I think it can. The numbers were they missed on a revenue a little bit, but per share they actually beat. And this is actually in Seeking Alpha. Looking at these numbers were weak. The revenue numbers they missed. They were sort of in line, but again, the numbers show here positive 0.3. They were pretty much in line, yes, and that's why the Wells Fargo is kind of to the downside this morning. And what about Bank of Mellon BK? Let's take a look at it quickly. What's happening with that? It is also down to 94. Actually, it's up 94. Pre-market it is down 94.50. So again, all these banks are, because they've been hitting 52 weeks high, their numbers weren't really stood out way up. Other than JP Morgan's numbers, all the other banks, Citigroup is also was coming out with numbers this morning. I haven't seen their numbers yet. Let's take a look at Citigroup. They did come out with the numbers and they were beat, both on the revenue side and the earnings, and the stock is up a little bit, 80. So mixed bag of numbers this morning, and kind of not really standing out what pushing these stocks higher. But by 9:30 Wolves are on. I think we're gonna see a little bit of positivity to the upside. I think these numbers are going to go to a little bit to the upside. So I think this is a little bit risk on day. Not going to be, I don't think we're going to see the market really move to the upside or really move the market to the downside. So I think the market is going to be pretty steady. And taking a look at that, looking at the ES, and that's exactly what it's telling me right now. So the market is moving to the sideways, even though it's sitting at all-time high. I don't see a lot of movement as the numbers came up. So anyways, guys, I gotta run. I got about 9 minutes to get ready for the show, and I will see you guys at 9:30 on the other side. Thank you very much, guys. So have a good day so far. Thank you.